Hi, this is H, and this is the pitch for Kung Twu. We're going to pitch today, 18 August, and release on 8 December. That gives us a week after Thanksgiving for those who celebrate to finish the game up. So here we go. About me, been a club member since end of January 2018, been a game changer since Q2 of 2018. I previously led Dream Racer and G-Type and have contributed to Excalibur, Ghost of Neo Tokyo, In the Zone, Warp Raider, Falldale, Exit the Shadow, and Little Racers. And way back in the day, I was a quarterfinalist in the Salt Lake City Nintendo World Championships, so that's awesome. Okay, so what is Kung Twu? Kung Twu is a JavaScript HTML5 canvas game and spiritual successor to the Kung Fu on NES. So here we go. Why Kung Twu? Because Kung Fu for NES was a AAA game released for the premier home console at the time, and because of time, computers, software, art, code, programs, everything is easier. So I think we have it well within the capabilities of the game to produce a game which is better than this AAA game. Possible areas for improvement. I'd like to do some difficulty settings. I'm thinking like the accessibility stuff that was done in Celeste, where there are sliders and different things you can do as far as time or abilities to make the game easier or harder for yourself. Control system, I didn't care for the control system used in the original game, so I think that if we make it configurable so that the user can choose either keyboard or on a gamepad, then that would be really great. I've already got a little bit of information in there about implementing multiple languages. Would like to continue to do that. Basic storyline for the original was guy rescues girl. Got something else in mind, and looking for some audio options that are a little more complex than 8-bit. So basic storyline, protagonist is a martial arts student, and in order to earn that person's next belt, you have to best the other students at your level. So this means that we are defeating them, but we're not killing them or knocking them out. So this is not a super violent game, but students practicing against each other, and you are one, and you're trying to get to your next belt. So the way you earn that belt is you get to the boss at the end of that level, which is a student that has achieved a higher level, and each time you finish a level, you gain a new skill, and so you'll be facing up against a boss that has at least one skill more than you do. So passing the final test, you earn the next color of belt, so white, yellow, tan, brown, red, and black for the final boss. That's the vision. So basic moves, so you start out with a basic punch, kick, crouch, jump, and the ability to block, and then when you beat the first boss, you get the back dash. The second boss, you get a leg sweep, then jump kick, and then finally a helicopter kick. So that's what we're looking for. So it goes kind of Mega Man style, where you beat the boss and take their new power. So a quick demo of the game. This is the basic starter that I use for club games, and right now I've got credits working, nothing in there obviously, settings, help works. Also, you can use the keyboard as indicated here. If you switch to Spanish, this is the Google Translate of the Spanish. If you reload the game, it remembers which language you've picked. So being able to add languages is going to be relatively easy based on the system I've got in place. And then here's gameplay. Right now, all I've got is that. There's no gravity, there's no collision detection. All of that is to be done still. So that's quick demo. So roles. Languages, we're not doing actual localization. We're just going to do translation of the user-facing strings. Any language that anybody's interested in adding or trying to add to the game would be great. Typically you do the efigs, but any language is interesting, and we can do Google Translate if required, because we're not necessarily too worried about the quality if we don't have somebody who speaks that language. And start with ones that use the Latin alphabet. But if you are interested in doing a language which doesn't use that Latin alphabet, let me know. I think we can get that done. For artwork, player sprite sheets, so thinking about anime kind of style, keyframes only stuff. So we'll do like the start frame, like a big smear, and then the end frame, and call it a day there. A little bit concerned about the players because they're humanoids, and humanoids are hard. If you want to tackle that, that would be awesome. Enemy sprite sheets, interested in as much variety as we can come up with, but we could certainly just recolor the player sprite sheet as you saw me do in the demo, and that would be sufficient. Likewise with bosses, we could change hair colors or add makeup or something like that if we only get one set of sprites, but obviously if you're interested in creating a boss that can look a little bit different, that would be awesome. Background images, so you saw in the demo I had like pink walls, but if you want to do wallpaper or something that be seen out the windows or something like that, I've also got an interest in doing like the final levels up on the roof of the building, so then you could see trees in the background, that kind of stuff. So interested in that. Levels will be horizontally long and just one screen high. So we'll need images that can either be tiled in some way to make that horizontal, or we'll make one long horizontal image. And then environment sprites, so paper screens, silk screens, columns, tables, anything like that to kind of add a little bit of depth and variety to the visuals. For audio, as previously stated, not necessarily looking for 8-bit. Thinking that some sort of fast-paced beat-em-up music would be cool. Also possible that maybe waterfalls or birds chirping in the trees, some calm kind of martial arts meditation kind of music would also be interesting. We can mix it up and use one for the menus and one for the gameplay, or something. So something along those lines would be great. Looking for any of the menu or title screens during the gameplay. If we get enough music, maybe the bosses have different music. Maybe there's music for when the game is completed or when you have a game over, that kind of stuff. Special effects, so something for a boss is attacking or the enemy's attacking, or something a little bit different for each of the different player moves, so that there's a little bit of audio feedback that the maneuver that you did on the controls worked out well. So lots of opportunities for audio. Code, tons of code options. So like I said, no gravity in there yet, no collision detection, no response to that. Interested in possibility of doing like when you attack, you have collision boxes on your hands and feet. But when you're not attacking, those don't exist, so that if the enemies hit your feet, you don't necessarily take damage. They have to hit some sort of body-centric hitbox, something like that. We'll need a horizontally scrolling camera. The customization for the controls that I've mentioned, I'd like to add cutscenes so you can see the guy walking up the stairs to the next level of the building. The difficulty accessibility settings, be able to change player health, enemy health, player damage, all that, level select, all that kind of stuff in order to make the game easier or harder as anybody desires. There's lots of opportunities to do AI kind of stuff for the enemies or the bosses. Credits functionality and incorporating all of the other assets that get created for the game. So a quick look at the Trello. So for those who've been in the club long enough to see me lead a previous game, I like to break the tasks down into little tiny pieces. The idea being that if you've just got a little while or you're looking for something to warm up with, there are lots of little tiny things. You can jump in here, pick something, sign up for it, and go take care of it and then mark it off. So I think that it'll look like there's kind of a lot of stuff going on here, but I think when you dig into it, you'll find that a lot of these are real small tasks. So things kind of wind down near the end. Here, as I previously stated, Thanksgiving in the United States, I don't have anything scheduled then. I will be out of town that week celebrating my 20th anniversary, so I don't anticipate doing a whole lot that week. And hopefully everybody will be able to enjoy that week off. I've also added at the beginning here this first card for Twitter handles. I like to do a little screenshot Saturday when I'm leading a project, and if you add your Twitter handle to this card, I will make sure to include you in that tweet so that you're aware of it and get notifications and stuff. So that's the Trello, and I think that is it. So hopefully everybody's interested in trying this game out, and I'll see you on the Slack. Thanks.